right, so Hamzat Chimaev is getting, well, maybe not booked, but has agreed to fight Belal Muhammad on Twitter, and that matters, dude. You know, people say they want to fight each other. A lot of times that leads to a fight, and Belal actually does make sense for Hamzat. But where is Colby Covington, right? Like, seriously, how can a person who kind of looks at the chessboard and is trying to figure out who's going to fight who, how is a person supposed to do that if the number one contender who's coming off of a really impressive win is just MIA? You know? Like, if someone's like, yeah, dude, no, really. Like, if he came out, he's like, I'm serious, dude. Like, it wasn't just my tooth that got knocked out. Like, I actually have brain trauma. That's why I'm not saying anything publicly. I'd be like, all right. Like, that's an answer at least. But if it's not that, what is it? Like, is it that, like, you know, was it so, I mean, again, let's just suspend all of my suspicions on this thing, right? Is it that, you know, fighting your best friend who you was your boy, your closest boy, that now, you know, whether you guys have beef now or not, was it like just straight up traumatic, like fighting against him, like having to beat him, having to take that from him? Was it traumatic, you know, and then having him attack you, you know, assuming that is what it is, that, like, you know, is it like this, like, shock to the system of, like, man, this thing that I was doing went too far. Like this character, I thought that I was doing this character just to promote myself. I didn't think it was going to have any, like, really lasting impact, but having to beat up my best friend and then having him attack me, and like, I'm having, like, an existential crisis. Like, I honestly think that's more likely than he's got a brain injury, you know, that maybe seriously, like, he's like, you know, that this whole thing is like, Jesus, I never thought it would get to this point. We all know the character's not real. Okay? Character's not real. I don't understand how anybody, like when people are like, look at what a piece of shit this guy is. I'm like, oh my God, man. He's playing the heel. He's playing a character. Okay? Now, some of you guys might not like a person playing a character, but that's not really him. He's playing a character. Is Chael a bad guy? Is Chael a piece of shit because he tried to get people not to like him? Okay? He's playing a fucking character. Now, you might not like the approach, but that's what he's doing. So is it possible that this whole thing is like, damn, this is too much? Like, I never imagined that doing this thing was going to put me in a position where I ended up having to, you know, beat up my best friend and then have him attack me in the street. You know, assuming that those charges don't get dismissed for some reason, because then, you know, yeah, I'm just saying. But is that what's going on? Are we having an existential crisis about the approach that you made to your career? Do you have a brain injury, or did you just decide you wanted to take 3 months to yourself and go on a vacation with some girl? Like, what the fuck is going on? Where is he? How am I supposed to guess what's going to go on without Colby? Like, he's a critical component to the 170-pound division. Where the fuck is he, man? Seriously. I do a video like once a month about it because I'm like, I don't get it. How do I still not know anything? Where the fuck is he? What's going on? You know, every once in a while I can interact with him because I'll just be like, hey, the only way that I would believe this blah, blah, blah is if I saw a picture of him with no tooth. And he's all, okay, here, TMZ, here's a picture of me with no tooth. Thanks for that. Gaslighting motherfuckers. But, you know, like, so going back to the Hamzat and Belal fight, if you pull Colby off the table, then yeah. I mean, that's a number one contender fight right there, right? Like that, in all honesty, you pull him off the table and you have maybe Masvidal and Burns fight, because those two guys, like, they've been barking back and forth at each other. Or certainly Burns has been barking at Masvidal. I know Masvidal's trying to do a super fight, but Burns is looking for Masvidal. If Masvidal wants back in the mix for the title, you know, then Burns, but that's a dangerous fight. And I think he could get back in the mix with someone who's a lower risk, because, you know, Burns is nasty. You could have Burns and Belal fight. If you don't like Hamzat fighting, you know, Belal, that's not a bad fight right there, actually, at all. But, like, I mean, look, like, as of right now, Leon's not booked to fight Kamaru. Colby is in outer space. Hamzat's like, I fight everybody, I kill everybody. He'll fight fucking anybody. Masvidal lost. Again, I want to stress again, lost 3 times to Kamaru, number one pound for pound in the world, which those aren't real losses. Like, you know, you're like, oh, he lost. Okay, well, so all these guys are coming off wins. How many of them fought fucking Kamaru? Oh, none of them. Okay, well then, what the fuck? So you think there's like, oh, Masvidal's washed and these guys are good? These guys beat the fucking 10th ranked guy. Masvidal fought Kamaru, who's number 1 pound for pound in the world, and fought him pretty tough the first, and looked pretty good right up until he got starched in the second one. And then Colby, like I said in my other video, if you actually just isolate the stand up where he's not tired, dude, he looked great. He looked really fast. But nonetheless, he's not in the title picture right now. So, like, how is the UFC not saying anything? Colby's not saying anything. No one's saying anything. I don't even hear anybody in the UFC saying anything. Like no one's even questioning where he's at. I mean, I guess it's better for them if he's gone. But like, I don't know. But Belal and Hamzat, I mean, that's a great fight. I think Hamzat probably takes that fight to the ground and wins because Belal doesn't win by knockout. Like, to me, if you don't like Burns is the absolute perfect matchup stylistically to beat Hamzat. And I said that before the fight. I said it after the fight. I will reiterate it right now. Hamzat likes to get on top of guys and smash them. Okay? Burns, if you get on top of Burns, he's going to break your arm off your fucking body. And Hamzat found that out very quickly where he was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. To have Hamzat give up on the takedown game, he must have felt like, whoa, this is danger. He's an exceptional grappler. So he's obviously able to feel danger, right? So he doesn't go back to it. Okay, Burns is a world champion. There are very few guys. There's no other guys at 170 that have game like that. So, like Belal's not he doesn't pose that much danger off of his back. So why would Hamzat not try to take it to the ground? And if he doesn't have like one-shot knockout power, then Hamzat can take risks. He can take risks to get in there and take it to the ground. And so, I mean, it seems like that would be a very favorable matchup to Hamzat. Although Belal has surprised, I mean, his timing is fantastic. That's how he beat Luque. Was absolutely perfection in terms of timing. And I've watched his Twitter. I've watched his Twitter, and this is going to sound, there's no reason for me to even try to like describe this, like try to explain how I do it. But like, I can tell by what he tweets that he has exceptional emotional intelligence. He's like a really, really emotionally intelligent guy, which means he can read people. And which probably, if I was going to guess, is very helpful to him when he's trying to read when a guy is going to move, right? Like, because that is exactly how he beat Luque. He was just a split second first, where Luque would get set, he had a tell, boom, and then he was in. Now, it's possible that's just great fight IQ, but it's also possible that he's used to analyzing people all the time, and you kind of catch these like my theory on emotional intelligence, and I've probably talked about this on other channels, is just that you're hyper aware of insanely small details in how people carry their face, how they carry their shoulders, how they do like any little thing, and you connect it to, kind of a behavior, people you've seen that do before. So you just apply that in fighting, and it's like, if someone has a tell, a person who's kind of wired like that is probably going to pick it up, because that is how he beat Luque. He just saw when he was getting set, in that split second he would go first. It's really impressive. But anyway, I don't know, dude. Where the fuck is Colby? And I would love to see Hamzat fight Belal. Where the hell's Leon? What the fuck is going on, man? What is going on?